Well, hello. Welcome to another Time to Paint with me. I'm Jasmine Rempel of Jasmine Rempel Arts, and I love to paint. Today I want to work on a little ocean scene. Very, very simple. We have here a little pod of orcas and some birds in the sky, and we just have shapes of color going up the entire card. So this is something that's really lovely for beginners to do because you will enjoy and have success with it. It's also something that anyone with experience can do because it's fun to just relax and do something simple as well. All right, I have my supplies here. I have a variety of round brushes and a rigger or liner brush. I have everywhere from a number 8 to a number 0. These are the silver black velvet brushes. They're very lovely. They have very fine tips. Any round brushes will do for you. I also have watercolor paper. This is a Strathmore Watercolor card, and it's 140 pounds cold pressed. I have it taped down with some white painter's tape in order to get this lovely crisp edge when I'm done painting. I have a pencil for sketching on some lines and a kneadable eraser. I have a container of water ready and another one on the side in case I should need it. I have here masking fluid marker that I will be using to create these white lines in between each colored band. I have a variety of colors I'll be using. These are Windsor watercolor paints, professional level. Here I have a Windsor Yellow, a permanent rose. This is Prussian blue. This is Phtalo Turquoise, and this is Cobalt Teal blue. Again, with a card like this, really any blues will do. You could ultimately, what I did is I started darker value and I went to a lighter value. Last thing I also have is a paper towel to dab my brush on as I go. All right, let's get started. First things first, I'm going to just sketch out a horizon line right about here, up 1/3 of my page. I'll do it quite dark so you can see, and then I will erase some of it. So my horizon line will be straight across, and then every other line I will have with a bit of a curve to it. There will be a little mountain, a curved line representing a mountain of sorts. Oh, those are maybe a little too similar. I want to vary it up a little bit. I actually think I'm going to bring my horizon line down just a little more to make some extra space up there for the sky. So one more take, horizon line, a little bit of mountains, and let's do a skyline. There, that's, I want to again keep it different. So there we go. That is different enough than the one below it. Okay, next I want to create 3 curved lines to represent the water. That's 1, any will do. You could just play around with those and see what you like the best. Okay, I've got my lines ready. I feel like this one is maybe a little too jagged, so I'm going to play with that a little bit and adjust it to how I like. That's much better for me. Okay, good. Okay, the next thing to do is, now that you see about where my lines are, I actually want to erase most of the color, leaving just a little bit to guide me. So I'm using my kneadable eraser and I'm just gently pressing and twisting a little bit as I go. Watercolor is translucent, you can see through it, so I would prefer not to see too much graphite. Good, that's probably good enough. Wonderful. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is put one wash in of color, and I'm actually going to use this brush here. This is a number 1 inch Princeton Velvet Touch wash brush. Any largish brush would do for you. I'm going to create a wash of color down in the area here, and I'm going to reach into this Cobalt Teal blue. Add some water to it. And then I'm just going to pull that across my page. I got it a little bit above the horizon line. That's okay. The mountains are going to be a purplish color anyway, so that's just fine. The reason I'm doing this first wash is that I don't want my broad lines that I'm going to be putting the masking fluid over top. I don't want them to be pure white. There we go. And now I will do the same thing up here, but I will use a yellow. Here's my Windsor Yellow. It's running it above the mountains. Good. Okay, now I want this to dry. I'll use my blow dryer to do that. Okay, that is dry, and while I was drying it, I just refilled my well with the Cobalt Teal. Now, I just wanted to mention that I do have all these round brushes. It doesn't mean that I'm going to use them all. In fact, I was thinking while I was blow drying that I believe in my last painting that I ended up using a 1/2 inch wash brush in order to fill in these spaces, as well as a round brush. So what I just have these all available in case I want them, and now I have a couple of more brushes available. When I'm finished the painting, I'll know exactly what I used, and then I'll put that in the description on this video. Okay, back to business here. Happy business. Next thing is to take this masking fluid marker, and I'm going to give it a good shake and get it ready for use. Do some pressing here. Okay. Yep, it is drying. Okay, what I'm going to do is just follow along my original lines that I created. Leaving a line of the masking fluid. It's really hard to see it because I have blue. You know what? I have other masking fluid. So I'm just reaching for it now. Changing my plans on the go. Isn't that part of painting? It sure is. Okay, so here's my masking fluid. It's yellow. I'll be able to see it. I'm reaching for my liner brush. And I also grabbed some Ivory soap. I'm going to just coat my brush in the soap so that the bristles, once I put them in this masking fluid, it doesn't stay on forever kind of thing. It is a lot easier to wash it off. Okay, now I'm drawing on this line. And I can see it a lot better. I hope you can as well. Let's move this away because I see a shadow is there. Okay, let's keep going. These curved lines create an impression of maybe moving water, a wave, just a little more graphicness to the painting, a linear quality. And honestly, most art I do involves a curve. I love linear art with lots of curves. Okay, heading over the mountains. I used to live on Vancouver Island. I lived there for about 20 years. This was my daily view. And I go back often when I can to see this view again and again and again. To me, the ocean never gets old. Okay, there we go. Clean off my brush. And actually, I'm going to go wash it. I wash it right here with some soap. I love my brushes. I really want to protect them. They are like my friends. I hang out with them a lot. Okay, I've cleaned that quite well, so it's not going to have masking fluid sticking to it in the future. Now, this masking fluid, oh shoot, I just realized, oh dear me, I forgot an important line, didn't I? You probably noticed. Whenever I rewatch my videos, I think, oh, don't forget, oh, you forgot that, or I notice things, but while I'm in the midst of painting, I don't sometimes notice. Okay, almost there. And clean that off again. Now, I just actually purchased the masking fluid pen. I typically do paint on masking fluid when I use it. I wanted to give it a try, and I'm sorry I wasn't really able to demonstrate it well on this painting, but I did use it originally on this one. I just hadn't put blue in the background, so I was able to see. I'll try it again another time. This needs to dry, so I'm going to blow dry it. All right, it's time to get going. I'm going to start dark and then go down to light. So for the darkest portion, I'm going to be using my Prussian blue, which is very dark indeed. There we go. And I'm using my 1/2 inch wash brush. Start it on the side and then twist it around to its full flatness. Just pulling the color across, enjoying the process. And there we go. Clean that off. And now for my next layer, I'm going to use this turquoise and mix it with this Prussian blue. I see it's a larger space, so I'll probably need more Prussian blue. Clean off. I can be naughty and forget to clean off my brush lots of times. And turquoise. Okay, there we go. I'm trying to stay within the boundary lines of the masking fluid lines, but if I cross them, it's not that big a deal. Clean off my brush. I can see that it's going to be lighter right here, and you know what? I'm okay with that. Okay. Next, I will use this turquoise, which is actually quite dark. It's a very dark value. Surprised. And I'm going to add a little bit of the Cobalt Teal to it. Go. And at the very end, I'll have just straight Cobalt Teal. I had a lot of water in my brush, so it's going to be a diluted mix. Good. This value is quite a bit darker than I'd initially planned, so I'm actually going to do another wash up here. And this will be quite a bit darker. That's better. Good. Okay. There's some value changes going down. And this one, my brush is a bit dry and it's wet. The paint is still wet enough that I'm going to just lift off a little bit. Good. Okay. That will do. Time to go into the sky. Go into my yellow, Windsor Yellow, and I feel like I'd like just a little bit of that pink in it. more of an orange, yellow orange. Start with some yellow and then I'll add some orange to it. Good. And then at the top, make it more pink. Pink sky at night. They say it's Sailor's Delight. Actually doing a little pink here as well. Good. Okay, and then take some of that permanent rose, a little bit of this Prussian blue, create a really gorgeous purple, and bring that into the mountain. I don't know that I needed these round brushes after all. I'll end up using small round brushes for the orcas. Add a touch of extra blue to some portions of the mountain. And a touch of extra pink to other portions of the mountain. Whoa, that was a lot more pink than I intended. The mountains are on fire. Okay. There we go. It's better. Okay, now this needs to dry. I'm tempted to make rays of light, but I'm not going to. Maybe another time. Okay, so I think now I could either do another wash or I could leave it as is. It's just I feel like I'd like a little more here, so leaving it as is not an option at this moment. So let's add a little more. And there's one more wash down here. I lifted it out and then now I've added it back because I didn't like the way the lifting went. And the one right above, which is my Phtalo Turquoise and my Cobalt Teal, I'm also going to put another wash here. Good. Okay, I like that. Now for my orcas, I have a 00 brush, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to zoom in and see if I can help you see it closer. And there's one. Let's try it at 2. Great. Okay. Why don't I put the orcas in this space right here? Okay. For the orcas, I'm going to use some Payne's Gray. I'll actually just put it right over here. Oh, you can't see that. Right, I'm zoomed in. I'm just reaching for Payne's Gray, and I'm really just going to draw in some orca fins and bodies. Ultimately, what it is it's a little curve. See? Curve and a little fin. That is enough to imply that there's an orca surfacing there. Let's do another. A little curve and a little fin. There's another one. Let's let that fin get a little higher. I saw some orcas near Campbell River in Vancouver Island on this summer. They're just so beautiful. I didn't get to see them very close, but I did see a pod from a distance like this. Curve and this is a big one. Maybe just being so careful here because my brush, I just got these brushes for Christmas, so I'm just learning to use their tips. And one more. I've learned in design that you always do odd numbers. There we go. Yay! A little pod of orcas swimming. Now, same color, same general area, a couple of birds. And I'm going to zoom out now. Oh, I'm so sorry you didn't see me doing those birds. There they are. For the birds, all I did was I'm pretty sure that you've done these birds many, many a time. All I did was, I'll do one right here. Pull down and up. A little bit down and up. Okay. Now I want to make sure this is totally dry, and then I'm going to lift off the, actually, you know what? I can just lift off this masking fluid right now because I know these layers are dry. Now, it's easy enough to use my finger to do this. I also usually have a rubber cement square kicking around, but I don't seem to right now, so I will just rub it with my fingers. That ended up very thick, but I don't mind it. And it certainly doesn't look blue anymore now that these blues are on top. Pretty striking. And one more. Okay. Peeled all that off. Let's sign it with our rigger brush. I think I'll mix purple with Payne's gray. Jasmine Rimple. And now let's peel this back and have a look at our finished work. By the way, I had this card stuck to a little board so that if I needed to, I could move it at any time. And there it is. A lovely little watercolor card for someone. Thank you for joining me today. If you are still with me, that's great. And if you are actually painting this, how wonderful. I'd love to hear from you. I'm new at making these watercolor tutorials, and it's good to know if I'm reaching somebody and if it's something that's valuable to someone. I'd also love some feedback. It'd be great if there's something you really loved that you'd tell me, if there's something you liked that you'd tell me, if there's something you think maybe I could do a little better, I'd love to hear that too. Thanks again for painting with me today. All the best in your creative journey. Bye for now.